beautiful people. Welcome back to the Best Couple podcast. You're here with me, Sureet and Stevie K. Okay, first, before we begin, I just want to thank everyone. Like, we've had a lot of people joining us on the last couple of podcasts, considering we've just started back up again. But there's been loads of messages on every platform.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you guys for supporting us. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, we've also created our own separate Instagram account for the Best Couple podcast and TikTok, and obviously the YouTube channel. If you guys are listening to us on Spotify, I might as well share that to you guys. And obviously if you're watching us on YouTube, then at least you know that we are on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music and stuff like that. So links are you can either get from the description below, or you can get them from our social media on Instagram, like I said. So anyway, today's podcast, it was something that loads of people have been asking us on various, like I said, social media outlets kind of thing. And it was about boundaries, certainly, especially boundaries in Indian families. So that's why this one was going to be the difficulties of creating boundaries in Indian families. I mean, it might not just be Indian families, it might be in every family, but I think it's just that because the audience or the people that asked, there's from being an Indian background, they were basically saying that, we're an Indian family, how do you deal with boundaries? Then something came to my mind.
Like it always does.
Like always, yeah. Remember the movie 3 Idiots?
Yeah.
Yeah. In 3 Idiots, when, is Arma Dhawan's character who wanted to be a photographer, but his dad wanted him to be an engineer. And he basically said, look, this is what I want to do. I want to be a photographer. But his father done everything he could work to get him, a laptop and everything, so he becomes an engineer, which is what he wanted to be, So his father was thinking the best for him, thinking he will make the money that his father never made and live the life. So put the AC on. I think the people who watched it, they will know.
Everyone knows about that movie. It's like a hit, isn't it? Something you can't forget.
Yeah. So to the ones that don't, what ends up happening is he decides to tell his father that I don't want to do engineering. It's not that he wasn't smart enough to finish it and complete it, but he won't be happy or fulfilled, in doing it. Whereas photography was his passion, and he might not make enough money, but he'll be always knowing that he was happy.
Yeah.
So obviously father was upset, annoyed, angry, more or less saying, what will Sharmaji say down the bottom of the street? So basically how we have always been is, from culture to society, what will other people think and say?
Agreed.
And that's how our parents were, not just might not be on the street, but, who's on neighbours and stuff like that.
100%.
Certainly because we've had mixture of neighbours, didn't we? White, black, Muslim. It doesn't matter about the neighbours as such as, but it was like, what will your mama say? What will your chachi say? What will your thai say? Or, or so-and-so. It'll be somebody that, what would they say? And then it made me think, then obviously, he said, all that matters is what you think and feel. I don't care about Sharmaji. There's a Sharmaji in every single person's life, and always, in most people's lives, it always will be. But if our choices are made by our parents, or the choices that we make ourselves are with the thought of what someone else would think and say, what will Sharmaji say if we did this? What did Sharmaji say if we do that? Then if we make those choices by what other people think and would say, then how would we even possibly make any boundaries? Not allowed to create boundaries because we can't even think for ourselves without thinking first, what do other people think of the choices that I'm making?
Yeah.
And it's happening again, like with our channel. Again, we done a podcast not so long ago about people holding you back. We still get judged of being parents to, grown-up kids who are at uni and stuff. That you guys are setting a bad example by doing YouTube and podcasting, right? That get proper jobs. Even though all the youngsters this day and age want to do YouTube content creating, and not only that, if you see, there's jobs in it. The future, the jobs that people used to have back in the then, when our parents' time and stuff like that, all these jobs are going, or were going. So life evolves. And AI is coming out. Going to be more jobs going. There's going to be other things happening. You know, if there's electronic cars coming, then, you know, you ain't going to have taxi drivers. You're not going to have deliveries. You know, people are going to find a way. So what is do a proper job and set the example? Certainly when there's so many avenues, but yet there's still people who are either older than us or our age who still will judge you and try to tell you how to live your life. And what they don't understand is because they don't understand boundaries. They don't understand that other people can make choices and decisions. That's none of their business, even if they're not happy with it. And the thing is, what with childhood and everything, I've only more grown up to realise now is that as children, doesn't matter if, even when we got married, we weren't allowed to have boundaries. We were always told what to do, where to go, how to do it. Even if we weren't happy, we weren't asked.
But was it only like you realised that after marriage, or was it like that before for you?
No, you'd automatically do it. When you're youngsters, I'm sure people can relate. When you're youngsters, I mean, parents would just say, we're going to this person's birthday party, this person's wedding,
you have no choice,
this person's art function, anything, whatever it might be, you guys are going, do you guys want to go?
Yeah.
You know, and it will be, I don't want to go. You know, what will they say if you don't turn up?
Yeah.
No one's going to come to yours tomorrow. You know what I mean? No, you are going, and you're going to sit there, even if you hate it, and you're sitting there for 5 hours, you know, bored, not talking to anyone. It didn't even matter if it wasn't relatives. It could be their friends, and you're like going, well, can't we just stay with our gran, or can we just... No, you lot will be there because we got to show that we're coming as a family.
Yeah.
And you're the most boring, and then you're getting told off because you're playing around in the Godoro, you're playing somewhere else and stuff like that. And it's like, no, it doesn't matter.
But the thing is, this is the thing, isn't it? We continue on doing it ourselves. Like, if you think about it, when our children were young,
we did it.
We did the same thing.
No, so I'm not.
And not for too long. I'm glad we didn't do it for too long because they were able to talk to us eventually and
when
say,
when they were older,
when they're in secondary school, and say, you know, we've done things that we didn't want to do, but we didn't really have to force them. But still, they weren't able to say, well, we don't want to go. I
think in our situation, and this is not me trying to protect us in any sort of way. For us too, the problem that we had, which many people, well, back in the days, we didn't, like in my situation as a child, I didn't have, in the sense that
you had
if I had my baby there, my baby never went to anyone's house. Yeah. She didn't even go to own children's houses, kind of thing.
You know, one thing, maybe she knew about boundaries herself.
She didn't went.
Respect to her, because if she didn't want to go to her own children's houses, she didn't want to go to someone's wedding, she'd stay at home.
Yeah.
Like,
she did.
And it didn't matter to her. And I think I've actually heard her once say something about, don't care what people think.
Even if my relatives or any of my friends are watching now and they knew of my gran, I know for a fact that she was, considering she came from India, she went through a lot. She was one person, not only who spoke her mind, but she actually had boundaries. She could say, I'm not going. I mean, it could be like a close relative, and they'll just say, Masi, like everyone does.
She'd say,
and she'll just say right then, she goes, but medical. Yeah. And it's not that she wasn't able to walk. She was basically active herself, strong, independent. She would just say, it ain't happening. Yeah. I'm not coming. You know what I mean? And it's not because I'm not happy for you guys. Exactly.
You
know what I mean? Yeah. And I think the only time I ever saw my gran actually dance was on my wedding.
That's
kind of thing.
So true.
But if it wasn't my wedding, she probably wouldn't have turned up there either.
Yeah.
You know.
And every time we speak about it, she lights up my face. Yeah. Honestly, thinking about her and how she was a strong woman.
For a woman who came from India, and considering my parents were nothing like that, she had boundaries.
If you think about it now, she did.
Yeah. But everyone else weren't allowed to. Like now, my dad couldn't turn around and say, bibitin jana bana. She was like, telling me what to do.
Yeah. Was there anything else other than just going somewhere that you remember her having boundaries?
Her?
Was there anything else other than going somewhere?
I
Seeing
just think
people.
everything, what she had, she didn't have to discuss her personal stuff or anything. She kept those things to herself, what she did. Her relationships with either her other kids and all that. She didn't discuss them. She didn't talk about them either.
No.
So, and that's boundaries.
And
So
you
you can know what's going on in other people's lives, but she didn't sit there and going, by the way, do you know what happened in that person's house? Do you know what that person's doing? Even though she might be aware, you'll see her most of the time. She'll be sitting there and she's just listening.
I'm glad I asked that because I'm thinking to myself, what else is there? And that is definitely true because I've seen that side of
She
her.
was the Jedi Knight.
She listened, and also she didn't. She wasn't from one child to the other. She was always there for them all, wasn't she?
So she was just like, everyone who talks to her, she talked to them. She didn't, but I didn't see her ever sort of like badmouth even the ones that everyone else was probably badmouthing. And that's how it is. And I think those kind of things but you don't look at that. People don't see that, oh my gosh, she's got boundaries.
No.
Or guess what? She says it as it is, and if you don't like it, then tough luck kind of thing. It was more or less like she's antisocial.
Yeah.
But she didn't go there and interfere in other people's or pretend or anything.
When you've got people who are not even together as a couple but show up at weddings and functions just to show face for other people, and the kids go along with it.
Just to make other people everyone knows what the story is. That's what I'm trying to say. With us, our situation was we could have stayed with someone. Sometimes people, and this is what I mean, when we're talking about things, I'm talking it from the viewpoint of mine. I'm not judging people who are doing it but they're happy doing it. Everyone's got their own reasons of doing what they are. But what I'm trying to say is that we never had boundaries. We had to do it like you said about our kids. We didn't have anyone that we can drop our kids off to, and we couldn't leave them at home by themselves. So there could be people in that situation of, well, we going, not because you had to go to everyone's, but there's certain people who you're very close to and you're going, well, I haven't got no one to look after or babysit my children. But I need to show a face here because these people are important to me. And then you take them.
It makes me
but
think...
your kids don't want to be there.
Don't want to be there. And it makes me think of occasions where we've taken them to functions, weddings, birthdays. And the people we're attending, they've also got kids at the same age. And yet we've never forced them to speak to other people like you other parents do. Oh, they're the same age. Bolo, be nice just for us. But even then... it was difficult because there's kids the same age, but yet they were just like, we know this is not our cup of tea. They're not our cup of tea. All the kids are sitting there like... And they probably come across like stuck up or whatever. People probably would have thought that. But you can just... I think what our kids do is look and observe before they know that, hold on, I want a relationship with this person. I remember the time when we had actually gone and met people at a pub. And this one's saying it was awkward because you're trying... just because you're getting on with... the couple or the
we get on with
the family or whoever it is, it was so awkward because you'd have our kids who are now not even teenagers, they're in teenagers, 19 whatever, and it was so awkward at the table because no one even is speaking. But I kind of respect that still now because I know if it was me and you, we would have, as that age, children, the way we've been brought up, you've got to make the effort, you've got to talk. But they will sit there if there's a
they all had their own little thing going on.
Yeah,
they were in that group talking amongst who they knew, siblings, and they were in their group talking as siblings.
And my girls are like, oh my God, they're so immature, giggling and stuff and whatever else not. But yet we're sitting here and we're like, we're trying to engage with the adults, but they're in their own little, but they're the same age, and it's so strange. But we know for a fact if we were in our kids' shoes talking back many years, we would have to make the effort and talk, and otherwise it looks bad. It looks bad to see Uda Betim, you got your faces on you sitting there, it's embarrassing for us.
And then we didn't even have phones to distract. So, and it's not because there's phones or, causing the distraction always. It's like now, I think many youngsters, not even youngsters, because we get many... sort of married couple with families, and they're still going, our parents are still dictating to us who we talk to and where we go, and they have a go at us if we don't, and we're like, whoa, you guys are the adults in your home, but you can't make choices and decisions. You can't have boundaries. No, because boundaries, how they see it is offending other people. You can't do this because we're saying that you can't do this. You've got to do you got to be the kind of person we expect you to be and do the things that we expect you to do. But I'm not happy and comfortable doing this. It doesn't matter. Everyone else is doing it. You know, you think that they're happy, you know, coming to these events and talking to these people, but they do it. They make the effort. And you're going, so all these people aren't, you know, happy doing something, but they do it, and everyone else should then follow suit and do it anyway. And don't get me wrong, it's not everyone. You know, some people are genuinely happy to be in every event and be doing everything kind of thing. Yeah. But I wasn't. And there were so many times that I didn't want to be places. I didn't want to do things. And I could have stayed, and you're just not allowed to. And then you just more or less, without phones then, you're more or less trying to think of, you know, is there somebody here that I get on with, that I can talk to? Or, you know, you trying to find yourself to occupy, but you don't want to be there. Yeah. And then sometimes they're there till late, and you more or less just fall asleep somewhere. And you know,
there's no care in the world. Whereas when we took our kids, that we would feel guilty if we'd gone anywhere. Like, oh my God, you know, it's not fair on them. But we've got no choice. We've got no one to drop them off.
Exactly. And so, like I said, everyone's circumstances are different. I think now, I don't think people understood boundaries. Now, more or less, we understanding boundaries a lot more, and our kids have put in, like, saying we want to do this, we don't want to go. Do you understand how it makes us feel, and this, that, and the other? And then because we communicate with them, you learn a lot more about boundaries. And I think people talk a lot more about boundaries now, kind of thing. But I don't know if in the Indian community, people still understand or acknowledge or create boundaries, because they keep on thinking and feeling, if we do it, we're going to offend someone or the other. And it's not always the person immediate.
Yeah. It's not easy to just create boundaries, is it? It takes a long time. I mean, even with us, even after marriage, there's many things that I didn't want to do. And I'd done, you know, turn up at weddings.
Yes.
You know, and it's taken us, why I'm saying that, it's taken us a long time.
And many times when we were going to functions, going to weddings, you know, relatives' weddings, could be birthday parties and things like that. And even that time, I didn't understand, because again, you sort of, in a culture and a society where you've been brought up to just think and see things in one way, Sureet will be going to like functions and parties with us as a family.
Remember that one time when, this is how much we know of ourselves now, but that one time when I didn't know what was going on with me, but we had this function to go to, and I ended up accidentally just, not because I was rushing, just because I can remember me not understanding. Even when I'm in the car with you, I was trying to explain to you many years ago, I don't know what's going on, but I can't breathe, but I'm getting this weird
anxiety.
But then
you didn't know what it was.
We didn't know what it was, and I was feeling like I was gonna, I don't know, pass out, or something's gonna happen. I got these jitters in my body, but I had electrocuted myself before I even left. You remember what I did with the plug?
Can't remember.
I kind of shocked myself.
One way of waking yourself up.
And even then, up until then, I didn't understand. I just thought, I'm rushing, but no. It kind of led into the car where I was feeling so nervous and anxious. That word, I didn't even know what existed back then. And that's how I was feeling. Now I know of it. And I still get those symptoms here or there now and then. But, you know, it gradually got so worse. But I had to attend certain places and certain things. And it's taken us such a long time.
I bumped my car, remember?
You bumped your car? Oh,
you know,
God, yeah. And in fact, that was obviously worrying about stuff as
well.
That
was just like over nothing as well, because you turned around and said, oh, we left our son's milk bottle. So I've dashed home to go and get the milk bottle, because we were at a function that we didn't feel comfortable, but we, again, felt like we had to attend. But everyone there, because they weren't talking to us or were talking to, like, somewhere, it was just like the most uncomfortable thing. And I dashed back home to go and get his milk bottle. Couldn't find it, so I made him some more milk. He was only little. He was about one-ish, I think it was. And then getting in my vehicle, the road was packed with cars on our street, so it wasn't like that. And we live in a cul-de-sac, so it was difficult to get. I swung my car out, and the side of it just smacked into the grip bin because I couldn't get it. But I was in a hurry, and I was just like thinking, oh my gosh, I've left her there. At the Godora, you know, like I've left her there by herself. She's going to be uncomfortable. She's got the kids, and I need to get back to her. And then when I got back, she had the milk bottle. It was there in the thingy, but your mind you was also anxious, and she was like going, oh damn, I forgot his milk.
You don't realise
And so we were just running off each other.
Yeah.
And we're both feeling the same. But again, you're doing things to what you feel that you have to do because, again, what people are going to, people expect you to do. Otherwise, you're going to upset or hurt other people instead of being able to talk to them directly and saying why you can't come or why you wouldn't like to come, whatever the reason might be.
Yeah.
Because that's how you've been brought up, that you can't, if something like my mum used to say to me, if you don't go to people's weddings and functions, who's going to come to yours or who's going to come to your kids? And at that time, as a youngster, you're like thinking, oh, damn, you know what I mean? As in, no one's going to like you. Yeah. No one's going to... And you want to be liked.
There was that. And there was also when we were going to go... We didn't go to someone's wedding who was not out... Well, close on your side.
Yeah, I had a relative who came from
then, it
India.
Was like, you just don't... Yeah, no.
I had a relative who came from India. Yeah, you want to...
No, it's fine. Yeah, it was the same thing. She said the same thing then as well. Like, like no one's going to come... No one comes to you lots because you don't go to theirs. I'm like... Huh?
So, we had a relative that came from India who was living with us for a while, and parents sorted out his wedding and stuff like that. You know how they do. And so he was there for some time. So it's like, I haven't grown up with this person. I've just now met him for maybe 6 months or something, living in our place. And dad's side of the family wasn't even a first cousin kind of thing. But they sorted out the wedding, and this wedding is going to be somewhere down Gravesend or something like that. And then what we ended up doing was, it was the same time, I'm still a football fan. The World Cup or something was on. We had a business and shop to run.
I was like 9 months pregnant. Was I? I was really far in my pregnancy. Tired at that time as well. My feet were swollen too, and I just couldn't.
And so basically, wouldn't be able to travel too far.
No.
And our friends came over. You do. It's a 2 or 3 day wedding thing. So everyone's together. Everyone had a drinks the night before. A couple of football World Cup games are going to be on the next day. Anyway, I wasn't even living at my parents' house. I was living like a few doors away. And the next morning, I just didn't want to go. And all my friends were over, because they invited for the wedding thing. But they were all staying at my place. And the coaches turned up, and we just didn't want to go. And then, oh my gosh, you should see the look on my father's face. It wasn't the best. Put it this way, married and everything. But yeah, it was like, again, like you said.
He did say a lot of horrible things.
Yeah, like basically, no one's going to come to your last. Look like you like just, and honestly, at that time, you just think, I did make up to it. Like, we decorated the house before they came. So, done all this. Just like... Put it this way, my mother opened her business on my wedding day, but she was willing to go all the way to Gravesend and have the whole day for someone else's who was just like there 5 minutes away, who was on my dad's side. Yeah, this is the kind of things that I'm trying to say. There isn't... My mum wouldn't turn around and say, then, I've got a shop and business to run, now I've got no one else running it, and I might as well, I'm staying, you go, it's your nephew. Then all of a sudden, she's doing it just to please because there's no boundaries. Yeah. She had no boundaries. And she was doing so much that for my dad's side of the family because she had no boundaries. Yet, they didn't have a relationship between themselves, but yet she was willing to do so much. But this is the point that if you didn't do it, like now, if anyone was to say, I think the last time someone, I think it was my mum who said to me that, well, when you invite people, no one's going to come. See, the mindset first was people pleasing, and don't want to upset people. Oh my gosh, you want to be liked, you want to fit in. Oh, people ain't going to come. And then my mind sort of all changed as my kids grew. It became like, no, they're not coming because I didn't go to their functions. They won't be coming because I won't be inviting them. There's a difference. I won't be inviting them. Yeah. And not only that, to the people that I do invite, because I do want them there, I will understand if they can't make it. I won't judge them just because they didn't turn up. Just like I wouldn't expect them to judge me just because they turned up at my function, but I couldn't make it on theirs.
Yeah.
And that's another one. We had relatives. The last several years back, there was a wedding that we had to go again. We were told that it wasn't going to be a big ceremony.
Oh, yes.
It was only going to be, simple. We ain't going to do all the little bits and bobs. It's just going to be wedding day, and that's what we're going to do. Yeah, good as gold. No worries. Fair enough. Then all of a sudden, 2 days before the wedding, they went, no, we are going to do this and do that because the boys' side want us to do it. So they didn't want to do it. But now the boys' side are telling them to do certain things. Again, this is where boundaries come in. Sorry. We had this discussion. The marriage was fixed God knows how many months ago. We've all sat down. We said we weren't going to do anything. And now 2 or 3 days before the wedding, you lot want us to do X, Y, and Z ceremonies.
And you know why that is as well? Because everyone gets together and they want that extra bit, or like, you know, someone's not happy. It's not because they want it.
But that is no problem. Do it. If you want to do it, then do it. But then what they're doing is, so they've said to them, we want X, Y, and Z. We want these extra ceremony that we didn't think of doing first. Now they've turned around and gone, and all these certain people should be there due to these ceremonies. Then they've turned around and gone to, like, you know, like myself and other, you know, relatives or the brothers or the cousins, whoever it might be, you know, and they've gone, can you like come here because we're doing this? And you're like going, but no, we can't, because, you know, it's 2 days notice, and not only that, we've got commitments. And then they find it offensive. They're offended because you've now not doing something that they asked for you to do, which they weren't going to do, but someone told them to do last minute. And yet they said, it's all right, we understand this last minute that you can't make it. Thank you. So that's what they said. Honestly, I can't. If I could have, I would have. But then they were offended by it because I didn't. And yet I've been there for every other thing.
If not, you were the one who turned up first.
I would turn up first. That's who I was, Mr. Dependable, Mr. Reliable. And I just went, see, that's the thing. You're not allowed to. As soon as you say it, it's like, what's wrong with you?
And
you let us down.
And it doesn't matter how much good you've done already.
Like
that one thing.
It gets wiped off the thingy. And that's what ends up happening, is that continuously you're not allowed to. You have to do things to make people happy in the way that they want it. And if you don't do it, then there's something wrong with you, and we're not going to do the same. There's no understanding of that person's probably got life. But it's not everyone, because I just think it's your face fits. It happened to me nearly all the time. Maybe because I did always turn up or was, you know, willing to do the extra yard. But then you got the others, like, you know, their own kids or other people's kids. They don't turn up, like, what about there? You know, they're at university or they've gone on holiday together, but you can accept it. You know, you don't know that. I'm not there investigating.
They make a little guest appearance and go.
Oh yeah, they've got another wedding today, so they just show their face and they go. I mean, I'm not judging. That's fine. That's okay. People have a life. People have other people in their lives. People got to do other things, but they would. You know what I mean? So it's very hypocritical kind of thing. And the thing is, the reason why I'm mentioning it is because it still continues. And the amount of people that wrote to us and said, we still got to do it, even though we've got kids, even though we're married.
Someone wrote on the last podcast. Did you see that one? I saw it this morning. They wrote, like, they moved back here. They were married. They'd gone to Maldives or something. I think it was Maldives. And they come back to the UK because their parents wanted them back here. And although they love the weather and everything there, they've come back, but they wanted children. And they just hated it in the UK. But they moved back and they finally have had kids. Like, now the parents have to visit them. But they were doing it for the parents, but they were unhappy whilst they were here. You know, good on them that they went back. Because a lot of people will stay just for the parents and yet are still unhappy.
Exactly. And the thing is, boundaries are also, it is a respect to yourself. Not just yourself, but also it is respect to the other person. Now, our kids, we sort of like, I think we learnt from them about boundaries whilst obviously communicating and talking to them. But again, with our kids, even though they understand boundaries and that they want boundaries, and they'll say, Mum and Dad don't need to tell you about this, but we'll tell you in our own time, or just leave us alone on this, or whatever it might be. And you understand it and you accept it. But then they'll look at it sometimes and go in, but you guys can't have boundaries.
Your parents.
When it's to do with us, with other people, you guys can have boundaries. It's true. You can have boundaries with those other people and you don't have to do X, Y, and Z. You know, but with us, you lot are parents. So we should have known. You should have told us. You should have done this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yes.
You know what I mean? And you're like going, no. Yeah, like before I would have gone, makes sense. But it's like going, but you lot are parents. And you're like going, no. You guys can have boundaries from us. We can also have boundaries from you guys. We can have boundaries from each other. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that we love you less. It doesn't mean that we don't care. And it's the same thing with friends and family. Just because you have boundaries and you don't want to... I mean, I'd rather be somebody... Like now, say if I was speaking to say I had sisters and brothers, and I was speaking to all of them. But, I was speaking to one sister, but I wasn't speaking to, like, two of my brothers or, two of my sisters, whoever it might be. It's not my place to say to her, well, don't talk to them, and that you can't invite them. I want to be there, but I'm not coming if they don't, because there's many people who have that kind of control. And that isn't boundaries. That's telling someone else how to live their life.
That's true.
How you want them to behave. Either I'm the eldest or I'm the youngest. I don't do that. For me, it's like, fine, you get on with everyone. You can invite us all. That's no problem. That's your choice, and, it's your event. But for me, if I don't get on with these others, you should accept if I turn around and say, look, I love you to bits. I'll be happy to come. But the only thing is, I know they're coming, and you are inviting them, which is fine. I ain't going to take offense, because why should I? But I can't attend, because at the end of the day, I don't want to make them uncomfortable. I don't want to make myself feel uncomfortable. And that is respectful, because I'm openly telling you, I don't have to be in an environment or around people that I don't want to talk to, regardless of the occasion. I'm sorry. Love you to bits, respect you guys, but respect me too, in that sense that it's not you, it's everything else. But at the same time, I don't expect you to put you in a position going, well, I won't call them. No, you wanted them there. It's me who's choosing not to come. There's a difference. You know what I mean? And I think if more and more people be able to say that and be openly talk to someone without them feeling offended and then going, well, if you ain't coming, then I ain't going to come to yours. You know what? In this day and age, I would just say, that's fine then. If that is the case, that just because I'm not attending, because I don't want to be uncomfortable around people that I don't want to talk to or see, and you find that, like, you saying to me that, well, I'm not coming, fine, I understand if I've got people here that you don't want to talk to or you don't get along, more than welcome, that's all right, I get it, talk to me. But you're not coming just because I ain't coming, then there's something clearly not right here.
Yeah.
Which is what many people do. And we had something similar to like when our son was born.
Oh, God.
You went through a lot then. Obviously, Sureet was going through a lot of natal stress and what you call it.
I think, I had a lot going on. Obviously, had broken away from a lot of people. And then we had people that you don't even talk to just turn up when and as they want to. Not that they want to be there, but they've turned up after coming off a holiday 2 weeks and just have to pay the little visit kind of thing. Or we had
loads of people, and they weren't coming for us, and they weren't coming for our kid.
People who don't even talk to you.
They weren't coming for our child. They were coming for parents. Other people. People
who just turn up and who don't talk to you, and you've just come out of bed and you've had such a hard time. There's a lot that's gone on. I remember that one time I actually fell out. I got out of bed and I collapsed as well. So again, I have not had the help each time when I've had my children. There was so much going on. I collapsed, and you come down and there's a guest there that you don't even speak to, and there's no one's making the effort. So there's some uncomfortable situations, and then obviously we had our son's Bart that we did, and again that was something I felt like it's not that I wanted to have it.
It was forced.
If I look at it
now, I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do, if you're religious and you do religious events, nothing wrong with that. I'm more than happy with just like, you go to a Gurdwara, you go to a church, wherever it might be, you do your bit for seva.
Yeah.
You can just do it and that kind of thing. So I always find it, just do that. Feed people that you don't know or help people out who you don't know.
Yeah, even that, I think it's the people I've had in my life at that time that were encouraging you to do things, and you haven't even.
And you was encouraging me because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I at that time said, look, our son is born, fine. Yeah, we didn't do it for our daughters. It doesn't really matter. It's okay. You know what I mean? And not only again, this is what I mean. The point was, even then, married, fourth child, still wasn't allowed to have boundaries.
Yeah.
It was more or less like, well, everyone is saying, your mum is saying, so and so's saying. And you know what, we should do it. It's the right thing to do. And and if we don't do it, and it was like, you know what, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Not because I wanted to, and I wasn't allowed to.
And because we'd broken away from a lot of people, the person who encouraged me to do the Bart, and I did do it, I thought she'd be there for me. Even that was quite hard as well, because she'd gone with me to book it all and everything. And
wasn't that the one at home though? We done two. That was the one at home.
Oh God, yeah. So there's so many things.
There's so many. See, this is what I mean.
You mix it all up, don't you?
That was a different one.
That was a complete different
That
one.
was one also, yeah, you had someone who was a neighbour close.
Yeah.
Encouraging you to do something.
She's very, fiery. She, one of those who...
Again, no boundaries. And then you done it, and then they didn't turn up.
Don't you think it's because of, I think the person I was then, and they looked at that person who hasn't got anyone. It wasn't like, oh, we want to have her as a friend. It was more like, what was the word I'm looking for? I felt like I was like a walkover, to be honest. I was there when they needed me, not really it wasn't a two-way thing. It was when they needed me more as an equal thing. Yeah. But yeah, there's so many occasions, Jesus. And it's just remembering each one. Even that one, it was like more or less forced upon me. Showing that, you've got that power in you as well to do something, because knowing that you haven't got your family around or his family around, show him that you can do it. Show him, you don't need anyone. And when it came to the day, you expect that friend to be there for you. She wasn't even there. No. She'd run away to her own mum's house because she's got her husband to have an argument with her own sauce. And it's like, and I'm ringing, and she's not answering. So I have to go and knock on her door, not knowing where she's gone. And her mother-in-law comes to help me.
You're saying, you asked, and she said, oh, she's gone. But it's all right, I'll come.
Yeah, she was like, come on. And she sat here and she peeled, bless her, she helped me so much, which was lovely. But so it was that occasion, and seeing that as boundaries as well, the way, I just didn't know myself as well, and where to say, no, I don't want this, just because you're a stronger character than me.
Yeah.
Don't force something that you believe. But I did. I kind of went ahead with everything.
And that was another one I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and each time you say, like going, well, like going, and this is what I'm trying to say. It's not just parental, like you grow up, but even in relationships, you have other people. Sometimes it could be parents, it could be siblings, it could be friends, that they'll say something, and then you go, well, or, either their relationship with their in-laws, whatever it might be, or their partner, and then they all say something to either you or, my parents or my family will say something to me, and you go, why aren't you doing this? Or you should do that.
It was a little
And then you're telling the other person going, but I don't want to do it. No, well, so-and-so's husband done it, and they did this, and you know what, you shouldn't, this is what they said, and you can't have boundaries.
It's the littlest thing. She'd come over and she'd because she's got this high job, and, she's got that. She's really strong as a character, isn't she? And she'd come over and talk the talk and everything. I remember that one time she came over and she was like, oh, she's got this new wedding ring or whatever it was, and forced it upon you to get me one. See? And yet, I don't even wear that damn thing now. So those things, you're like, okay, just because someone said it, and you're like, oh yeah, it's nice, and put that seed in your head, and you're like, come on, if you think about it.
People have influence.
A big influence, yeah. So,
and certainly when you don't see yourself, and that's what the thing is.
You look up to them, you think, I need to look at, and now being the person I am now.
Because we like to listen, we always wanted to fit in, and that's what we're saying.
You look at a status as well, you think, oh, that person's, their job's quite good. And you look at that as like, oh, they know what they're talking about, what have you. But now, if that person were to come back in my life, I wouldn't give them the time of day.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But when you've been brought up not to have boundaries, you don't have it with anyone. You're not even aware. No. And this is what I'm trying to say.
We've had to learn
There's probably so many people out there our age, or even probably older than us, that still don't understand boundaries. And I don't mean with, parents and, friends and all that. Sometimes just partners. It could be anything. Like there's an influence and someone, and it is, and this way, loads of times relationships break because you're more or less going, I don't want to go there. I don't, many times that your occasion, like your side of your family, Sureet was, would get called, invited by relatives, and she would go, I have to go, because someone so is going to get offended, and they'll say, you've got to do it, and then she'll say, but you have to come. And I'm like going, I know it's not going to turn out well. This is a situation. It didn't matter if it was a funeral, remember? It didn't matter if it was like someone's birthday party or wedding, remember? Mm-hmm. And it was like, I turn around and say, I don't want to go, and I don't want to be there, and I know what the situation is going to be, and it's like, well, they're going to be offended and you have to do it. Make the effort, and this is what people are going to say. And then you go there, and whatever happens, I'm not saying Nostradamus, but exactly each occasion, those things would happen. And then even then, it was like the next one will come in like going, but you have to. Like
But
going, that
can I
person didn't know anything
stop you?
better.
It wasn't always me who would say you have to. It'd either be your family member as well. No, it's a good thing. You should go. It would always be, okay, so they think it's a good idea. Now, for example, the funeral that I went to, and
I didn't
want
go, did I?
No, I didn't want to go.
Yeah, my family member said.
Made me go.
And they said it's the right thing to do.
Your family members did. And you go.
Because you're going to regret it later and, what people are going to say.
And then remembering it now in detail, and again, I didn't know what the feelings I was going through when I was there. Now I do, because those feelings have grown. Those inner symptoms that you have grown so much to the extent that I couldn't handle them. I didn't know what was going on at what point. But the stuff that I got to hear at that place, at the funeral, it's not the place that you want to hear stuff like.
No, and people don't think about that then.
And I wish I could turn around and say, well, I'm sorry, I don't want to go. I understand the situation. I understand how close that person was to the family and us, and he was there when I was young. But my boundary, I wish I knew that back then. And I put myself through all of that. It's not on. So it wasn't the case that I always say to you, at that point, we still had family around us.
But
Say, no, it's a good thing.
It's also our upbringing. We still have that feeling of guilt. That we should do it because it's the right thing to do, even though we might feel uncomfortable when we're there because there's so many people we know how they're going to act and behave.
Yeah.
But we still do it because just that, because the way you've been brought up, that you're not allowed to have boundaries. You're not allowed to think. At that occasion, you just got to do what you think is right, regardless of how you're going to feel when you're there.
Or how people are going to treat you.
Or how people are going to treat you. Yeah. And we, being humans, we don't want to be excluded.
Yeah, and you walk away from that, and all you're doing is for weeks on end thinking about that occasion, being so upset about it because there's things that you didn't want to hear from people, whether they walk past you sniggering, saying stuff, or whether just actually saying it to your face. Yeah. It was not nice, and it was not just myself who would say to you. We had again that influence of the older generation.
And I think everyone has that, and that's the thing. They've got so much influence of people telling you what's right and how to be, what other people say, what they'll think. And then also your own internal guilt because of the way you've been brought up. That, maybe, it's... And it's not that you don't care. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not that you didn't care about that family member. I mean, there's been last year or the year before, there's been people who were part of my, upbringing, that I was close to, that passed. And it was painful and hurtful. And I did, if you ask me, in my head, there was this big battle. I was facing a battle because, again, it wasn't something I was aware of, and then someone told me, and I just thought, what is the right thing to do? Knowing that this person, it wasn't this person, this person ain't gonna know if I came or didn't come at the end of the day. But it was someone that I cared about and loved as we grew up. But it's everyone else. He moved on and obviously married, kids and stuff like that. I don't know personally his partner, his kids. I don't know him. Ain't been in their life. It's just been like that. Different, grew up together, but just went in different ways in life, kind of thing. Respect him. Respect, obviously, if I was to meet his wife in person and kids, I would say my sorries and things like that and tell him how I truly felt. But I just felt to myself, why do I need to be in a situation or a position where I am around other people who I don't talk to, who I probably don't no longer even respect anymore, and I've got to be in that situation where they're turning up to me and either trying to talk to me or so I have a choice of then two things: either having my boundary to say, sorry, I don't want to speak to you, but then everyone's going to judge me and say, because we live in that world where you can't have boundaries, turn around and saying he's been rude and disrespectful. Whereas for me, it would be you're not part of my life. I don't have to justify my actions and what I do to you. You don't pay my bills. You don't look after my family. But this is how it is. They think that they have ownership to talk to you of why you're doing what you're doing and how you're being or what they think of you. Or they should just talk to you for the sake of it because they once known. They knew you, the person you was back then. They don't know you now. No. They know nothing. You were so-and-so's son. Again, you're so-and-so's, you know what I mean?
And again, they wouldn't...
They don't know who you are, though.
And again, they wouldn't care where you are and, what the occasion is. It could be, you said, a funeral. It could be a wedding. It would be the case.
And the thing is that I didn't want to be in a situation that by going and saying to people, sorry, I haven't come here to have a conversation
Even
to
if-
you guys about your thing. I've come here to say my sorry to the people that are closest to this person who's passed away. I've come for this. I haven't come to hear about other people's stories. I haven't come to hear about other people's gossip and what's been going on in people's lives. If I need to know that, then I would contact you personally, or you would be part of my life anyway.
Yeah.
And you're not. So obviously, it clearly shows one point you mattered and what your life mattered. But when we don't talk, it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It doesn't matter if you got 17 kids. It doesn't matter if you got a mansion and you're the richest person around. If you mattered and we had a relationship, then we'll talk about it, and I'll talk to you about it. I'm not going to talk to someone else.
Yeah.
You know, it's between us. So if I'm here, I'm not coming here for a gossip to have a lowdown on what's been going on all these years.
Normally that's what you get, whether like
And
again
it happened.
at a funeral, at a wedding. Oh God, they've turned up. We didn't expect that. They weren't talking, and everyone is talking about it. It's not just.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't become about the actual
No,
event.
no.
It becomes about.
It's not about the wedding, it's not about the funeral, it's not about the birthday or the part, whatever it is. It's about who's talking to who and what's going on in other people's lives. There is no relevance on the actual event or the people. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when my son was born and we had the part, there was people that we invited, then there was people that we chose not to invite. And it offended all the people that we invited because we excluded the people that we didn't invite. And therefore, when they still turned up, I mean, I would have been happy if they just didn't bother turning up, the people who were invited. But they all turned up, but they didn't turn up for me, my wife, or my kids. They turned, all my child who was born, for who were doing this, they turned up for my parents.
Yeah.
So my parents don't feel offended that they didn't turn up. But yet, they didn't really even talk to us. They didn't even see eye to eye.
Oh.
They made the whole situation, even though it was our event,
Ours.
for our child, our celebration, they all made it awkward.
Yeah.
I had cousins who walked past me whilst I'm standing with my friends who were actually talking to me, wouldn't shake my hand, but they wanted to go and talk to my mum. And then they'll just come and say, "You're right," like rude. Same people, like, you know. And then I had uncles and aunts who have no relevance in my life telling me who I should be speaking to and what I should be doing.
I had
And I
one
said,
of your.
it's not the time and the place to talk about this.
I had one of your uncles who collared me and had a go at me for posting the invite instead of knocking on the door, which I did actually not for long enough, clearly.
At the event.
But he collared me, and
so-
I'm stood there, and someone else all the youngsters, they're like, "Oh my God, that was so embarrassing." They had actually said that was wrong of him. I'm like, what do you do?
And again, it was an event and a part or whatever, you know, like, you know, to the people who don't know what one is, but it was an event for our son and something that I didn't want to do in the sense because of how everything is, that you end up doing anyway, and then you end up feeling uncomfortable. And I think that was the last time I thought, you know what, no, I'm not gonna put myself in a position where I am disrespected by people younger, older, same age, by doing things just for the sake of it because other people are telling me to do it. Yeah. And I'm not going to invite or talk to people just for the sake of it because once in my life they had some relevance. Doesn't mean I have to be rude and disrespectful to them because I don't want to be.
No.
I don't want to say anything bad to them or about them. But I tried to talk to a relative not so long ago, again, thinking, you know, because you change, you evolve, and someone told me, you know, that they also are different and they understand, and so I've reached out. Sureet done the same. Someone from her family, I done with someone from my family, and I realised, and they did go to this funeral, and it's sort of like made me think of, if I like go aside, we stopped watching EastEnders about 15 years ago. I know I'm moving away. 15 years ago, I think it was, we stopped watching EastEnders. We thought, okay, you know what, the stories are the same. It doesn't like it's ever going to change. Probably even longer than that. Kids were really small then. But we grew up watching it with our family. I think it was just the only thing you can do, more or less, then. And this Christmas Day, I just said, should we just have a look if there's any like difference? I think I mentioned it on the other podcast or on another video or something. And I realised that the only thing that changed was that all the same people are more or less in it, but they all just changed partners. But otherwise, the story and everything in their lives is all the same. And that's where, when I met this family member and I sat down, and trust me, I thought we would be talking about each other, ourselves, how you been? We haven't spoken to each other or seen each other
very long time
for 5-6 years. What's gone on in your life? What's gone on in your life? How are things? What you're doing in your life? How, you know, and things like that. That's what I thought was going to be. We end up going there. They're not once asked anything about us or our life. They try to avoid what we do for a living. Didn't even want to bring it up. Didn't ask about my job. If I had left the police force, obviously they knew. Yeah, I know. But didn't ask about my job, why I left, or, you know, if I was still doing it. What made us do this? How, you know, do we enjoy it?
We had the courtesy. We're not just. It's just generally you would
We
do
were
as
asking them.
as human beings. How's life? What's going on?
Yeah.
Where are you living now? What's your job?
How did you like me?
Interest in you. It's been so long. How? Yeah. What's going
They
on?
had
with
a
you
child and like going, oh my God, you know, why? How come you named them that? This, that, and the
So
other. Your
much.
pets, everything. So it wasn't that. We were actually interested in that person's life.
It's normally a two-way thing, right?
Yeah, they didn't ask us one thing, not even about our children. You know, how are they? What they're up to? You know, what their life? What did they study?
Yeah,
what,
our kids were missed apparently.
And yeah, so just look there and we're just like going, this person has not asked or had no interest even once. Yeah, I can tell you what brick they picked for their house, what colour carpet, what room themes they've got, what laptop, PC, TV, speaker, garden, everything, who their neighbours are like,
do and do not like,
what they eat,
jobs
where
they're
they
in.
go, everything. So that, but what they did tell us was when they went to these funerals and these functions and what we missed out in everyone else's life in all that time, even though we didn't ask and we were just like going, looking at each other, like going, not thinking, oh my gosh, we want to know. It was more or less like going, nothing's changed. The same people are doing the same thing and life hasn't evolved and people aren't allowed to have boundaries, and all the conversations people are having at these functions is who's talking to who, why ain't that person talking to you, what's happening in that person's life, I heard this is going on.
Yeah.
None of their business.
Yeah.
None of people's businesses, but yet they want to go there to make it their business because they got nothing else to focus on.
It's crazy.
They like to focus on other people's lives and what's going on, just like you're watching TV, you know, and you're never going to get involved because their whole life is, and yet they've got issues of their own, but they don't want to see those. And they don't want people to know about those, even though people know about those. They just want to talk about other people's. And you guys, everyone probably relate to that.
Yeah.
Again, you're not allowed to then have those boundaries and say, sorry, excuse me, I don't need to tell you who I'm talking to and who I'm not talking to, what's going on in my life or what the situation is. None of your business. You know what I mean? Because again, they find it offensive.
Exactly.
I'm only asking because I care. I'm only asking because I heard. No, you're not. And so that's where we sort of change. And trust me, it's big decisions. They're not easy decisions. And you do sometimes, it's like fighting with the devil in the head. You got the two angels on your shoulders going, what's the right thing to do? What's the wrong thing to do? You're going to be judged either or. So either you can be judged by people without being in that situation and going, well, okay, they're going to talk about me anyway.
I mean, they were talking about each other. They got them in their
Exactly.
lives. They're even closer family members.
The people they get on with.
They go to every day.
They see each other every day. They help each other and they talk about them.
People that they rely on. So
Exactly.
if they're relying on these people and they're coming to tell us they haven't seen us in 5 years.
They spend all the
about
time together. They go do all the occasions together, and yet they're slacking them off.
and you haven't seen us in 5 years, and you've just told us all of this. You know, you've got weddings. You've got.
We knew nothing about. Honestly, we don't
what
go
makes
on
you
social media and check on anyone's that once was in our life before.
What makes you think that
We got
these
time.
same people are not doing the same thing
They
about?
will be.
They were obviously doing it before when we were in their lives. That they're not wouldn't
There
go
will be.
back.
There will be.
But they would have nothing really to say about us because they didn't even want to ask us about anything really.
No,
did
well,
they?
they couldn't say anything about, they'll still talk about you in some way.
There's nothing really else on our behalf to talk about.
Again, because you're not allowed to have boundaries. And, people just do what they think is the right thing to do. I've got to do it. I've got to call this person because someone else is going to be offended. I've got to, And this is the point that I'm trying to make is that with our lives, there's nothing wrong with them. And if people don't understand that it's okay to have them, then clearly there's some sort of communication breakdown.
Before, for us, we used to do, both of us, I know, felt really bad at one point. You know, it didn't matter who it was. Are we doing the right thing? Oh my God, this is
Yeah,
not.
devil
You can't do this.
go-
It
angels on the
was
shoulder,
such a
yeah.
big battle, wasn't
Because
it?
even now, it hasn't been like, you know, just a couple of years ago. I mean, even this person who I met, I didn't want to go and meet them. And yet they were my relative. I didn't want to go and meet them. But then my kids and my wife were basically, see, again, I was like, I don't want to do it. It's the right thing to do. And so I
think for us, the kids obviously had said what they did, but for us, it was more it was more for my son's case.
Yeah, it was basically, it's something for something. It's always like, oh, you know, and this is what people do, because the kids will say something and they'll feel something, and then it's like, okay, to make this person happy, let's get this person to do something that they don't want to do. And then they do it, and then they're going, why the heck did I do that? And I think now, even more, we had the conversation going, can we just stick to those boundaries? You met someone not so long ago. I mean, not only that, sometimes even that, Sureet will say, but the person's been nice. When they were in our life, they were nice or they were good. There has been.
Yeah.
And they didn't say, you know, do anything bad. But then you look at yourself and you're going, I'm not putting these people down. I'm not saying that they're bad people. All I'm saying is you have different walks of life, different people that you hang around with. You enjoy different things.
Certain things you don't like, just like EastEnders, going back to that. Years and years we watched it for. It's been a good 10, 15 years. I don't know how long it's been since we've last watched it. Over Christmas, again, we put it on just as you did. And I was like, I don't want to watch it. Just let's see who kills who. And honestly,
I was getting offended.
I was getting really angry.
I find it funny.
I was like,
She was.
In the sense though, I was getting angry. Like, why have we spent so many years
before
watching
that,
this?
Yeah, before
why
that.
Why do we watch it?
Haven't,
and it's the same. It's the same with going back to these people. Like, you feel bad, and you're like, oh my God, they're still relative. This, that, the other. You know,
they haven't said nothing bad. We haven't argued.
No,
you know,
there is things that are not good.
Amicable, going different ways.
There's things that are not good within this relationship. But obviously, it's not. It can't be worked on because people like to hide things under the carpet. Whereas we're not like that. We're like, you got a problem. Let's talk about it. If there's is a situation, something, let's talk about it and move forward. It's always like under the carpet within your family. So
it isn't just my family.
Within families, I think with mine it's the other way around. It's like let's talk about it. But watching EastEnders, it was like, oh my God, it reminded me of our sad lives that we had, and the nonsense, because we were a part of that. We were a part of like how we turned up at that time just to see that person. All they did was talk about everything and anyone that they're involved in, and it's like EastEnders. The gossip, what's going on, and I'm like, we were a part of that, and that's disgusting. We did that.
Yeah,
we were amongst that, and who knows that they were probably talking about us whilst they went for dinners with the people that they rely on. It's sickening to know that, and I don't want to be a part. I don't want to do that about other people.
No,
I know we're talking about it here, but this is the point.
And the thing is, if people are happy doing that, then that's fine. That's okay. It's the way the point we're making is there are some people who find it that their whole interest and their whole life is, regardless of, they like to gossip. They like to sit down and just chat about what's going on in other people's lives. It just makes them feel like they're part of something. It doesn't matter if they're going on function. They like to be involved. They like to tell people what to do and how to do it. And then there's people out there who like to please everyone and, not have the boundaries, or they're not aware that they allowed to or can have boundaries. So there's people out there who live there and they just carry on. But then there's people who actually, and this is for those people who turn around and go, I get what they mean. I don't want to go to that person's house, but my mother-in-law tells me that I have to go. Or my husband says to me, just like now, I'm not just criticising mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, friends and all that. Like, Sureet looked at our child and said he wanted to see this family member, wanted to know because they were part of their life. So she said to me, we should go because it'll be nice for him or them. And I've gone, I don't want to, but then I've gone, okay. And then I've gone there and I've gone, I wish I didn't go. Yeah. Because not only did I go there and realise nothing changed, but I've realised that I didn't like the relationship that this person was in either. Like going, well, I don't see myself chatting to this person's partner.
No,
I just got
disrespectful.
This is probably the second time I've seen this person, and I just found them rude, disrespectful.
The first time
I would not have any, relationship with them.
The first time it was different because obviously it's the first time I was meeting you.
And then you look at it and you're going, why did I do what I did? Kind of thing.
Like, who are you to judge? Exactly.
And I think that's what I was trying to make the point of, that it's not always those people. It could be your partner thinking of the best interests of someone that's close to you, but if you have got this gut feeling, I mean, if you're totally just antisocial and you don't do nothing because you're boring, that's a total different thing. Don't like going, well, I don't like going anywhere. You probably just don't like going anywhere, kind of thing. But what I mean is, if you truly know that if I was there, I will feel anxious, I will feel uncomfortable, I have to talk to people I don't want to talk to, I have no respect for certain people, or you know what I mean, then you need to be able to say to your partner or your relative or your parent and saying, you know what, if you want to go, you're more than welcome to go. I am not stopping you from going. You want to make the effort, do that too. But I have to put a stop here and saying, I don't want to be part of it. It can't be, well, if you don't go, they're going to go wonder where you are and they ain't going to talk to me. Well, then that's tough. That's not my problem. If they only going to talk to you because I have to talk, then you know what, I've got to accept someone that I don't want to accept.
Yeah, trust me, you don't want to be in the situation that I was years ago, not understanding my own body or what was going on, to the point that I am now, and the things that I've had to deal with and had specialists to help me deal with, because it overtook my body, like to the extent that I probably needed hospital treatment. So it's been going on for so many years that I've been in and out of hospital just because from anxiousness to not understanding what anxiousness is,
anxiety,
and then anxiety to so many other things that had happened within internally. Like, don't leave it too late. If you know there's something you're feeling that's not right within, you need to be able to speak about it to your partner, whoever it is,
or parent,
and if they don't,
a loved one.
Yeah, and if
they
don't understand,
everyone's married. Yeah,
they don't understand. Remember, you have your own choice to make,
and it's the other way around as well. So it's not just Sureet's told me and I've done things. Like we said back in the days when we were going to people's functions, birthdays, and stuff like that. Sureet used to feel that anxiety traveling and feeling the way that you did, and I didn't understand it then. I used to just go, you know what? Why you been? She used to just go blank.
Yeah.
And I used to be there just more or less going, people are talking to you and you've been rude, you've been disrespectful. And the thing is, what I didn't understand was, she's just, because of how she was feeling in the environment around all these people, she used to just like switch off.
Yeah.
And she wasn't even there, even though she was there.
I don't know if people have heard the word dissociate, but like that's something I've learned about myself, is something I've done quite a lot. As soon as my body starts to feel something, like I dissociate, and I have done that, and I didn't know I did that. And again, that's been under examination from medical people. So I think this is the point it's got to, where now we really understand each other a lot and our boundaries with each other. It's not just with people around, with each other as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't let it get to the state that it has with me, like, because I know there's many other people who have gone through the same thing as well, and in fact it's done more worse for them, because it can cause really dangerous illnesses, with the way we are and we don't look after our mental health.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it used to cause a lot of issues between us because I didn't understand it and nor did she understand it. So the conversations weren't there, and this is what happens. We've learned from growing from those mistakes, and that's why we're doing these podcasts and stuff, so we could talk to people and going, sometimes it's not just clear cut in the sense of someone doesn't want to talk to someone, or someone's just being funny even though people are making the effort. My wife's just, she just doesn't like my side of the family, and she goes there and I make the effort. It's not because of those. There's certain things that make you feel that your body and your mind tries to deal with things, but you probably aren't aware, don't understand. I didn't understand. And as you sort of like learn to understand yourselves, you get to talk and communicate. And then you slowly start to learn why we behave in the way. I know how I behaved when I went to people's functions, but I didn't know what I was doing and why I was doing it.
But we're slowly changing. We're slowly not understanding still fully. We're slowly changing and knowing that this we can't deal with this. We don't want to carry on with this kind of relationship or what have you. But I think since September, since we kind of backed away from working on the platform, YouTube, we kind of had to step aside. And again, from September, I've learned so much more. Even that, I feel so proud of myself, because this is something I really, really want to do, more so because of the things I'm dealing with and going through currently. And backing away from it since September, at first I was like, oh God, we started something, anxiety there, like, oh, putting it to a side again. You know what people are going to be like talking, they always start something. So I don't care, but I had to come away from that and thinking, I don't care what people think. For my own mental health, for me, I know there's a purpose in this. I know where I want this to go. And I'm so glad I did, because I'm learning even more day in, day out. I'm learning so much. And these are things that we want to share with people. You know, even if it's that one person who takes something away from these podcasts that we do, would just mean a lot to us, wouldn't it? So yeah, just coming back as well since September. What's that? 6 months?
No, about 5 months. About 4 months. Yeah.
It's been tough, but it's like each time, like, this is a battle. I'm gonna make sure we're teaching someone. We're giving something away each and every time from our own experiences.
Yeah. And it's not, like I said, it's just like, it's growth, it's self-growth, it's self-development.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's self-love and it's self-acceptance, because most of the time we're not taught to love who we are and also love the choices and decisions we make. Yeah. We keep on telling people, we're grown up to learn that, no, our job is to make other people happy. Yeah. Our job is to make sure, and there's nothing wrong. It's like now when we're doing this podcast, we want to make people feel good. We want people to see, relate, be inspired. If we can make people laugh, then great. Obviously, this wasn't one of those podcasts, because it ain't going to be all the time. But because this is a serious nature, because I know there's so many people out there still doing things that their partner wants them to do or someone else wants them to do, and they find it difficult. And what you don't understand is it can make the relationship with the person that you're close to a lot worse than it is. Because you just keep on putting yourself in that situation where you feel like there's something I don't want to do and I'm having to keep doing it. And you start disliking the person who's asking you to do it. You start disliking you because each time you go there, you feel horrible in yourself.
And it's what you felt before. You've kind of moved away from it, but then you're going back to it and it reminds you of how you used to feel before, whatever it was,
And then
about yourself.
Your actions when you're in these places are going to obviously affect those other people, even the ones that you get on with, because you're there, but you don't want to be there. And it's not because of them. It could be because of everything else. So it's that thing. And then mentally, like you said, then, you don't know where it's going to go. Got to slowly but surely start to understand having boundaries and, implementing them in your life. Just knowing that you also matter. You got to take care of yourself. You don't have to meet every single person someone asks you to meet. You don't have to, go every single place that someone asks you to go. You don't have to do things that you don't want to do just because that you don't want to offend someone by not doing them. Certainly when you yourself feel uncomfortable. You need to understand yourself.
Yeah,
and it's okay.
Same goes for having people in your life. You don't have to have people in your life just because another family member is, or because I think even that with our children was the case. It was like, we don't understand, why do we have to be seeing these, why do we have to see these people for, why you don't hardly see them yourselves. Why are we even having to do this for? Why waste our time? So
they don't, and now, and like I said, and it's vice versa. I think it's all to do with respecting yourself and respecting others, and also understanding everything as well. And trust me, you'll just be so much more happier in yourself and life, and everything else that goes on. But anyway,
we've been going on long enough.
Don't know how long.
More than an hour.
Anyway, that was the podcast for creating boundaries. Hopefully we can probably do one in the future of how we started doing them, or what kind of boundaries we have, if people want us to talk more about it. But I think the first one was more or less like, we understand it's because we have been there, and there's so many stories that we can tell, and I'm sure loads of people can relate. And it's all about, at the same time, growing, learning, understanding, and becoming better in yourselves and the relationships that you've got with the people that truly matter. Yeah? See you on the next podcast.
See you guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.